Suho is once again assigned a mission at the request of Rakan Fang to confront the Eterum. The moment he enters, he senses the Eterum's magic power spreading across Earth. Once again, we witness an intense battle where Suho adapts his weapons and skills to different situations. The chapter begins with the Black Tortoise Guild manager asking if Suho responded to their invitation. Despite being an E-rank hunter, Suho declines, baffling the manager, who assumes he will eventually realize he needs a guild. Meanwhile, Suho checks his phone, reflecting on the numerous offers he received from various guilds. Vero remarks that this proves many people recognize his talent. But Suho notes that they only want to hire him as a collector or porter, making him question why so many are suddenly interested in him. Suho acknowledges that joining a guild would hinder his growth. He recalls an unfinished conversation with Rakan Fang Swords, where he proposed forming a united front between the Shadow and Fang factions. The Sword is skeptical but agrees on the condition that Suho takes him to the sanctuaries of the Monarch of Fang. Suho asks if Rakan Fang knows the way, and he confirms that he can sense its location, even if long lost. This phenomenon, he explains, is what people refer to as a dungeon break, leading Suho to realize that the sanctuary has become a field-type dungeon. The scene shifts to a monster-filled location. Suho tells his uncle he'll be stepping out and not to look for him. He prepares for the journey with Rakan Fang, arriving at Notch's passing gate. Suho questions if Rakan Fang is certain about the location, as it appears dangerous and illegally occupied by hunters, with the Hyena Guild allegedly placing gangsters inside. Instead of heeding warnings, Vero boasts about himself. However, Suho uses his ruler's authority to destroy security cameras, ensuring no evidence of their entry. Vero comments on Suho's decisiveness, saying it resembles that of a true monarch. As they enter, Suho asks if field-type dungeons always bring significant threats. Vero explains that these dungeons are formed by magic from outer space, creating cracks in the world's dimensional barrier, allowing beings from other realms to invade. Suddenly, monstrous creatures appear. The sword prepares for battle, but Suho decides to fight hand-to-hand to train his unique fighting style. He compares this to a tutorial game, recalling his battle in Demon Castle against his father. With an uppercut, he crushes Razorclaw's face while using his ruler's authority to launch Rakan Fang into a long-range attack against another monster. Suho explains he will use the ruler's authority for ranged support and weapons for strategic disruption. Activating Storm Slash, Suho generates countless air slashes, retrieves Rakan Fang, and uses Shadow Extraction to transform the Steel Fang-like Shadow Soldier into a tool stored in his inventory. This reveals that Suho doesn't need a shadow storage system. He can convert Shadow Soldiers into weapons. Vero is astounded by his power, realizing it comes from the Shadow Monarch's bloodline. He notes that the longer the battle lasts and the more enemies Suho defeats, the faster he levels up. Suho successfully summons 5 Shadow Soldiers, impressed by his own progress. However, Vero smugly remarks that this is nothing compared to the great Shadow Monarch's 10 million soldiers. Annoyed, Suho smacks Vero on the head, telling him to shut up. The sword leads them to a hideout where the sanctuary's gate is supposedly located. As they arrive, Suho notices a group of people smoking and chatting. He is surprised to see so many awake so late at night. Vero explains that these individuals live by their own rules. However, Suho questions why they are here at night instead of hunting magic beasts during the day. Suddenly, an armored truck arrives and hunters open the gate. To Suho's shock, 3 hostages, 2 men and 1 woman, are escorted out. The female hostage trembles in fear as a hunter grabs her face. Suho immediately suspects human trafficking, which Vero confirms. However, he warns Suho that they are trespassing and should not interfere. Before Vero can finish speaking, Suho vanishes. The sword is stunned, realizing that their protagonist has already moved into action. The story then shifts to Suho's father, Jin Woo, a skilled violent crime detective, and his grandfather, a legendary firefighter. These 2 figures deeply influenced Suho's upbringing. As a hunter senses something approaching from behind, he turns only to see Suho's foot crashing into his face. This chapter showcases Suho's evolving combat style, his strategic thinking, and his growing reputation. His refusal to join a guild highlights his desire for independence and self-improvement. The revelation about the sanctuary and the sudden discovery of human trafficking hint at more intense battles ahead. With his family's legacy driving his sense of justice, Suho's actions set the stage for an exciting confrontation.